Hello, how do you record your business transactions to, how do you do the bookkeeping for your business? So we did part 1 and we are going to continue those entry to our inventory and sales spreadsheet and our journal spreadsheet. So we stop on this entry and now we are going to enter a raw material in inventory. So how do you enter your raw material purchase in inventory? So we'll go to our inventory sales spreadsheets, raw materials, and first let's see if we already have that material on hand. So that's elastic. We can see if we have some elastic on hand, and it'll go under raw material tab. And we do have elastic, but I think we might have more. So we are going to just enter a row. We will insert a row and then we can copy one row and we will paste the formula. And when we do that, we will change the name, and for sure we will change the units. And we want a formula to be on that row. So we just want to make sure everything else is up to date, and we will enter a name there. So the receipt say elastic, but I'm going to go far, and the total is $244 with tax. So it is elastic thread. So I'm going to put elastic thread. And the quantity is 2, but it's not at the beginning of year. So I'm going to leave that blank and go to purchases during the year. So quantity purchase is 2. The units, because it had tax calculated on it, I'm just going to take the total pay, 244 divided by 2. So 2.44 divided by 2. So what is going to happen in this instance? What is going to happen in this instance, because the elastic does not say much, but it's not right next to me. The elastic is many yard. So by entering it the way I enter it, because when I'm threading it around the bobbin, I won't know how many yard I'm using. For that reason, when I take one out of the package, I'll just take one out of inventory. Therefore, that full cost will go to the first item I will use it for. Another option will be to treat it as a supply as well, but I'm going to add it as a raw material here. And because it's a new item, it won't be in the raw material summary tab. Therefore, I need to add it here so that this tab can track the inventory for us, the beginning of year, purchases during the year, sold or out of inventory for production, and year-end inventory as well. So the tab is going to be a summary. So each row is for one specific item, while the raw material row will have same item multiple times depending on how many times you purchase it during the year. But the summary tab, based on the other categories you added to that raw material tab, will be able to pull data to the summary tab and tie everything to one row for that specific item. So I'm just going to find where I have elastic, and then I can just add it. That way they are all in one session. So and here, because it's not really a table, I'm going to copy and I'm going to insert copied cell, and I'm just going to delete that that name, and by taking the name out, automatically it will zero out everything because it is related to that name. So I'm going to go back and copy exactly the name that I add, and I might update it later to just add a little bit more that I can remember. In fact, I can do that now. That way, if I ask my husband to pick up this item for us, he might pick up the right one. So it's 0728. You know what, I'm going to leave it like that for now. So, but I'm thinking about adding the barcode, the model number to the item. But anyway, I'm going to leave it like that, but I'm going to add more to it. But then if I add more to it, let me just do this. So 072 879 879 2874 287410 287410, and I'm going to copy that. Oh, in fact, the thread is now well written. I think that's HR. And the way we write it on the raw material section, we'll need to add it exactly in the summary tab. That way, automatically, it will pull it down there for us. Okay. So we have our raw material entered, and on this one, I like to add when that purchase occurred. So that would be, let me see if the receipt has the date on it. I'm not seeing the dates. It might be the part that is cut off. But it's 9/10. Oh, I'm sorry. I have it on this side too. So the date, the date is there. So 9/10. 9/10. Okay. So when you have items on the raw materials, when you use it, you will need to take it out on the out of inventory tab if you have it separately before you enter the finished product with the total of all the costs including that finished product, like all the raw materials to use. Total will be the cost, the raw material, the finished product that you enter. So that way the raw material will be out, but then re-entered as a finished product. But if you do not take it out of the inventory, it will still be counting as there and then enter it again. So that's something to keep in mind. But if you resold it, then you skip out of inventory and you go straight to the sold tab. And what will happen is it will automatically update it because there is sold column as well. And out of inventory, remaining inventory is subtracting anything you sold or anything you use in production out of inventory. Therefore, when you use the raw material, you either sold it like that or you either use it to make something else. Therefore, you need to re-enter it with a negative number, or depending on how your spreadsheet is designed, as out of the inventory, so that it can update the remaining inventory for you. Okay, so now that we have our raw material in the system, let's see what else we have there to account for. And what we added, that's something that I would like to point out is, let's see here. We can enter it, that's an expense, therefore we can enter it on our bookkeeping or journal spreadsheet. Our bookkeeping is spreadsheet to have all the costs together. And I think we have it here, but let me, okay. So we will go to our expense detail section, and I will just see if I have a raw material. I can enter it for you to see, and I have done that for the previous video. But you can copy a section and re-enter it for that to go fast. And this will be Nina soap. It's for handmade, and it is 9/10/23. And raw materials, in fact I have it here. Raw material for 244, I believe. 244 with tax already. And if you purchase something and you are not taxed for raw material that you will use, it will be fine. For but something you is a supply in the business, then you'll apply tax on it, and that tax you'll track it so that at the end of the year you send that to your state. For Iowa, that's the way it works, is sales use tax. Use tax. So here I'm going to choose, let's see what we have options wise here. And I'm looking for raw materials. So raw material purchase. And is it a business expense? Is an inventory, and therefore you'll know what line we want to file inventories goes, and inventory that you purchase will go on Form 1125A, cost of goods sold. Therefore, and you need to know the line as well. And while we added, we can just take a look at it. Cost of goods sold, line 2 is purchases. Inventory at the beginning of the year, the value of that, not the numbers, and then the purchases, the cost, the total cost of purchases during the year, and the finished product all will go on line 2. And then, let me see here. and then the total of those two, and year-end inventory, and the subtraction between the two will give you cost of goods sold. Okay, so now let's go back to it's now overhead, and we can just continue. You can design your spreadsheet to have it like that, and then you can have summary tab where you can pull numbers too, or you can have it by column, the way they are by column here, and every tab will be for, every column will be for a specific category of expense, the way you will enter in your on your tax form. So it is a raw material, so we just enter equal there, and if we make sure we are on the right row, and it will be the raw material. So that raw material, we enter it on our inventory spreadsheet, and we enter the expense on our expense spreadsheet as well. So now we will continue, and in your inventory, the raw material, you are not going to deduct that. You are going to deduct the cost of good you sold. And this one will be, and while we are there, in case you want me to explain myself, when you are completing Form 1125A, the cost of good sold is what you are going to report on your Form 1120S line 2. That's what will be taken into consideration. Not all your inventory costs, if that makes sense, but only the portion that you sold during the year if you are keeping inventory. Therefore, you need to make sure your inventory is up to date by knowing how much you are spending on the inventory, but then the inventory spreadsheet allows you to keep track of what you are selling, what you are purchasing, and when you take it out of inventory, and what you make or you made with it, and then the cost of goods that you produce. So under our sold section, we will go back again. So this one is SC, and set of 12, 3 of it are purchased. So let's go back to that, and what I'm going to do here, because I show how this is completed, I'm just going to copy a row that has that tower, and it will be those two. In fact, I will copy 3 of them. I will copy, and I will paste the formula, and we need to check the dates. 14 of September. So 9/14/23, and it was September. I'm just going to paste that, and handmade, but it is SC, so we need to make sure we update it. Okay, so this one we wanted to see is 15, each 14 to 75. Let's see, 1475. So 15, and the total 4425. That's 358. 3.58, and we need to know where is going. And the state is Washington. Okay, so we already have Washington here. So instead of continue to the left, let's come back and update the added product. So the 15 is there. We added 2 layers, one set of 9 by 7. I believe we already have that copied. We have 9 by 7, one layer. We need to add it, and I'm just going to I'm just going to add it 2 rows. And I'm going to copy one of them and paste it in the other 2, and we can update it. And we want to enter the right item so that the inventory can be updated for us. So therefore, let me see, I need to change the SKU. So the one we have is 2 layers. We need to add the 1 layer 1 to it. They are both the same size, so we need to go all the way. In fact, if I know what I was before, let me see here, 173, row 173. Okay, so we have, okay, so this one is what we have already there, so we need this one. That is the 1 layer 1, and we'll go back to sold, and we will enter it. And the SKU is 9N22 S16 1. We need to see what else is there. We have 15 by 15, 1 layer as well, and I believe we already sold that earlier. So if we can find it, we can just copy the title from there. And it is N23 S1. Okay, so we have the item purchase, the added products, and the cloth bag. And we use priority envelope, so the shipping is 9cc5. So let's go back, and now that we are done here, we continue. We have the shipping, we have the task, and we need to update the platform to SC. And automatically it pulled the quantity purchase to this session for us. But now we need to make sure we have our numbers accurate here. So first we'll go with the flour sack. We sold 15. So let's go to that one that we highlighted might be where we are still. That might be the cost that we are still recording. So, and I believe when I checked it before, it was 89. Up to that line is 89 total. So we want to make sure, in fact, the following one is still 81 cents. Therefore, the price, therefore, we should still be, the cost of goods sold should still be the same for us. So let's double check it to make sure we are recording the right cost. Okay, we sold 88 and we are still within that 81. We still that 81 because we have a total of 89, and like we are still within this 30, that is 81 cents. So that is the cost of goods sold, and we have it there. So for this item, that is 15 by 15 one, we need to check the cost of that, and that is this is 134. And I'm just going to paste value there. And the second one, let me see here. The second one is 1 layer 9 by 7. And that will be this one is 9 by 7, 1 layer. The cost is 0, and this cloth, the cost is 0 as well. Now we need to go to the cloth bag, and I believe we are still within the cloth bag, the 10 cents one, 19, but we can double check it. I believe it was on line 162. We are still within that 19 because let me see how much we sold so far. 6. So we still within that 10 cents one. So I believe that's what I have on the last row, and that's good. The mirror 2 are 0 0. So now we need to include the shipping. I believe it's 9.65. 9.65, and I can double check it. 9.65. So, and was it the line? I think that'll be this line. So I copy those two row down, so the shipping copy back, so we need to take it out, and that's 9.65. and I'm going to delete where I put it. I like to put on the row that the main product sold is. So, and the profit will be able to calculate as well. I mean, for you to take a look, to take a note of. So now that we have that, we need to go back to our bookkeeping spreadsheet to record that shipping cost, because we use credit card to pay for it. And the way I'm going to do it here is just copy a previous one down to increase our productivity. And September, $9.14.23, 9.65, and the shipping will go through. We can just double check it, but yeah, it went through. And now that we have that, let's continue here. And those entries are done. We still have few more to enter. that will be taking raw material out of inventory and enter finished product in inventory. We can work on that as well to show how you can enter your product that you made in inventory. So that is done, and let's see what we have here. So first, while we are still working on that, in the previous video, we reconcile our bank statement. So, and we noticed that it didn't balance out. Our journal and the bank statement didn't match, and I noticed that there is between, and you can see the total does not match what the statement is saying it should be, and we have a 719 to 31 that I think that's where the difference will be, and the balance didn't match that. So, and I went back and checked. So the 19, so we do have 718 here, SC deposit. Let's see if we have that already. 18, we do not have that. Therefore, we are going to enter a row. $718 SC deposits. $1902. And between 14 and 18, let's make sure we between 14 and that. In fact, there are other. Okay, so let's see where so we have 705 shipping that was paid with cash. Let's see if we have it. 570. We have that. And then 711 SC deposits. Let's see 711. 711 we recorded. Now 713 eBay for $50.93. 713, is it 713? For $50.93 we have that. And now 713, from that point on we have 17 $36 payment, credit card payment, $35.75. eBay 731 $334. 731 eBay 334. Okay, so it seems that we have everything. 13, 14. It's a little bit small here. Okay, so we have 713, 717, that'll be the capital one. We have 718 for SC. We have 720 for the credit card payment, and then we have 731. And now the balance. Let's open it again. $1,012. So let's go check if we balance. $1,012. Okay, so you can see that now it balanced out for us. That's the amount. And before I say no to check between those two dates, now I will say yes. That way later when I come back here, I know that from that day that I make the changes or I did the reconciliation, my numbers match. And let's just save it here and continue. So that's what you will do when you are doing your bookkeeping. Pull your business bank account. If that's something you record, check your entries to see if what you are recording for your bank statement, for your bank transactions, match your bank statement. And having the transaction on your spreadsheet, it will in some way summarize your deposit as well. And that's one way you can do that. Having it on, if you have a software, the software, I don't know what the software is doing for you, but with the spreadsheet you can design it to you can design it to to summarize some certain data for you. So now that we have our bank account reconciled, let's make sure we save that, and we have our expense detail updated. We are not done quite yet with all the transactions. We are going to close this one and we will go to the next things we need to enter. So we reconcile the bank statements. We did all the purchases and sales. Now we need to, you will pull your credit card. If you have a business credit card that you use, you will pull your credit card statements, or you'll open your credit card online, and then you will compare the entries you have made to your credit card statement to reconcile both as well, to make sure they match. So we have been making some entry for purchases and shipping, so we want to make sure that's why our credit card is showing that we have. So, and again, let me see here. I think so I think we have more than one here to work with. But first, let's see here. We have 244. Let me see if I make it smaller. Yeah, we should be able to see it. So here we have raw material. There it said the 9. No, the 11, we have 10 here, but 244, we have that. There is something pending, and that'll be this 965. We have another shipping on the 995. We have this eBay 770. And having eBay here, that means eBay charges some platform fee, some sales fee, some listing fee. And that's something we are not aware of unless we check the eBay report or the credit card. Therefore, that is the time to record that. So what I'm going to do is September 6th, and eBay and Etsy, sometimes they charge directly your sales to withdraw any fee that needs to be withdrawn from it. But if you don't have sales, then they might either charge your bank account or your credit card. So on the expense detail, those expenses will show up there, but then what they charge directly, they withdraw directly from your sales will not show up here unless we enter that. So it will be on another spreadsheet that we have to actually manually enter here to have all the sales fee included on this spreadsheet. But while this is on the credit card, we'll enter it. So I'm just going to try to see if I have another one in the past that I can just copy and paste. And I believe it was 906. So I like to have the order by dates, and I'm just going to copy a previous one, and I'm going to paste the formula, and we will enter that. We will update it. And the fee $770, and I have a note there that is from credit card. And eBay, yeah, is pulling properly because this one is pulling it from platform fee eBay colon. So you can have your expenses by row or having a by colon. Having a by colon, you'll have to design some summary tab to pull the expenses there. So we have expenses by month. We can just check few to see if things are pulled out to this area well for us. So that's the eBay, and that is $770 for the month of September. What did I do again? For the month of September. Yeah, it pulled the number well for us. So we can just save it, and we'll go back to our expense detail again. So we have that, and there is $6 fee and that will be, I have to check what that is about. I'm not seeing it here. Let me see if that's a payment. Credit card payment. No. Credit card payment is 5. So that, you see, that's an example when you are reconciling your bank account or your credit card to your spreadsheet. There might be some, if there is something that is unusual, you'll be able to question it. So that's something I need to look to see what that is about. Okay, so, and for more detail, we have those breakdown, but there are few more that we need to check. So September 9, $997 we have that. eBay we have that. The same merchandise is $6. Huh. I really need to check this to see what that is about. So, and the high V, the shipping $567. Okay, we have that. The raw material $255.86. We have that as well. And the payment $5. We have that. And the shipping $5. We do have that. On the 19, Yeah, it's on the 18th here. That's okay. And then the payment 1735. So pretty much we have all those data on that. So our detailed expense is up to date, and we just need to know what this expense is about. Okay, so I have something to look into. Okay, so now that we have our inventory spreadsheet, our bookkeeping spreadsheet updated, we will need to enter raw materials, and we have the raw materials, the expense in, but we need to make sure it is on our inventory as well. So what we are going to do here is go to our inventory cell spreadsheets, raw materials, and we might need to enter to 3 rows, and we might copy one of the rows and just paste the formula. Yeah, exactly. That's how the spreadsheet can mess up itself. That's why when you are working, it's good to save your things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close everything without saving. Or better yet, I can just undo, but I'm just going to close and say I'm not going to save it. And in fact, I'm going to close this one. I'm not going to save anything. I'm going to close this one, and I'm not going to save anything. So now we are going to try to reopen it. And if I save the work that I have done, we should still have that. That's why when you are working, it's good to, to save the spreadsheet every month. That way you are not going to lose 1 month worth of work if the spreadsheet automatically just mess itself up for you. Okay. And sometimes I just like to open one spreadsheet at a time, work with it, and then open the other one between the bookkeeping and the inventory spreadsheet. So if it's sending me back here, I have a feeling like there is a sold that we entered that it may not recover. In fact, the raw material, I believe we enter a raw material. So let's check that raw material to see if it's in the system. And it is not. And maybe I didn't save it. So that means the sold is not up to date either. The work we did is not in it. So that means I need to redo that. As well. So I'm going to do that. But I think the other one, thank you, will be up to date. Let me close out of this. But you see how we enter those items. And this one, it is up to date because we save it multiple times. So we have our last order shipping in it, so it is up to date. We will close it, but the only thing that got messed up is our inventory sale spreadsheet. And for some reason, even the date is kind of weird. Okay. Yeah, everything we didn't get saved. Yeah, when you are working, it's good you save your work often, especially if you have a large workbook that you are using. It just get it screw itself up. It just does not behave sometimes well. So that means we need to redo our raw materials entry before we continue. Thank you.